My name is Madeline. I'm 29 years old and live in a small apartment in Logan Square, Chicago. I work as a content coordinator at a digital marketing firm. Nothing glamorous, but stable enough to support myself and, as if by instinct, cover all the financial gaps in my family. I have no kids, no student loans, and no designer habits. Each month, after paying rent, insurance, and basic expenses, whatever is left usually goes straight into my mother's account. Janet. As if it were some unspoken obligation I never dared question. Some months it's 300, other months close to 1,000, depending on whether my dad's car broke down again or if my sister Brittany couldn't afford her design software subscription. My family lives in Aurora, over an hour's drive from downtown Chicago. My father used to be a maintenance worker at a public high school, but after a knee injury sidelined him permanently, he retired early and now watches the house and garden. My mom only recently started working again at a grocery store after years of being a stay-at-home mom. Neither of them is good with money, but they've mastered the art of saying just the right thing to make me feel guilty for not helping. Brittany is another story entirely. She's 24, studied graphic design, and works freelance, if you can call it that. Every time she misses a deadline or loses a client, I get a message heavy with pressure, like, "Maddie, I'm drowning. I'm short 400 for rent. I seriously don't know what to do." And just like that, I'm tapping through my phone, transferring money like a machine. No real thank you, just a sad face emoji or a purple heart. My younger brother Ethan is 21 and in his senior year at college in Champaign. He also reaches out often for textbooks, school supplies, even Uber rides home for the holidays. I've sent him at least 2,000 this semester alone. Every time we talk, he barely says hello before asking, "Hey, my car just got declined. Can you front me real quick?" I used to think I was helping because I loved them. Lately, I'm starting to wonder, is love really supposed to be this one-sided? I never asked for the money back, never complained. To them, I'm the one with a steady job, no spouse, no kids. "You don't need much, Maddie." So I'm expected to help. And every time I hesitate, my mom lets out this long, theatrical sigh. "You're the only one in this family holding it together. If even you turn your back, what do we have left?" That line cuts deeper than anything else, and once again, I open my wallet. I thought I'd grown used to being their safety net, but deep down, I knew not one of them has ever asked if I'm okay, if I'm tired, or overwhelmed, or struggling. They only call when they need something, nothing more, nothing less. I don't resent helping them, but I've started noticing how during every important milestone in my life, a promotion, an award, buying my first apartment, they're never there. No cards, no family dinners. But the moment Brittany loses a client, Ethan fails a class, or my mom gets her hours cut, I'm expected to show up like it's written in my... There are nights I stare at my account balance, asking myself, how is someone single, child-free, working full-time, always broke? Then I scroll through my transfer history and see the names of those I love lined up like a tax spreadsheet. I never imagined the very relationships I held sacred would be the same ones quietly eating me alive. I started planning the barbecue on a March afternoon, just as the winter snow melted and the first tulips began peeking through at the park down the street. It was a tradition passed down from my grandmother, Eleanor, the woman who taught me how to season ribs and make potato salad just right using an old wooden spoon and her uncanny memory. She passed away when I was 16, but every summer, the smell of charcoal on the grill still made me feel like she was watching. Every year, I took charge of hosting the family's summer barbecue, an event no one was allowed to miss. This year, I decided to make it bigger than ever, not because there was something to celebrate, but because I felt the need to hold on to whatever realness was left in this family, in the middle of a mess that felt more distant by the day. I booked a public garden space in Naperville, close enough for my parents and siblings to drive, but private enough to avoid strangers. I applied for the permit early, making sure no one else could claim the spot. I paid out of pocket to rent 2 large tents, one for grilling and one for dining. I also rented a full set of wooden tables and chairs, mint green tablecloths, balloons, string lights, and hired a three-piece acoustic band to play Grandma's old favorites mixed with some country songs Brittany liked. This year's guest list had 34 names. Relatives from both sides, my dad's old classmates, my mom's former co-workers, Brittany's friends, and a few of mine the family treated like their own. I sent out e-vites in early April with RSVP links, and most people responded quickly. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Can't wait for Madeline's peach pie. Bringing my daughter too. Place a large order for farm-fresh ingredients, organic beef, lemongrass chicken, German-style bratwursts. I even ordered a custom two-tiered chocolate cake from a bakery where my mom used to work years ago. They remembered me as Eleanor's granddaughter and said they'd make a cake worthy of the Parker legacy. For 3 months, every evening after work, I sat in the kitchen with my notebook, drafting menus, checking market prices, comparing delivery fees for tents and sound systems. I didn't complain. I didn't wait for anyone to offer help. I wanted everything to be just right for my grandmother and for the family I still believed could be brought back together. One evening in mid-June, while folding pastel cloth napkins into a bin with a new picnic cutlery set, Brittany texted, "Do you need us to do anything this year? Or are you doing it all again?" I chuckled. At least she knew the pattern. I just replied, "Just bring your smile and be kind." 2 days later, my mom called. Her voice was lower than usual, though she tried to sound cheerful. "You're going all out again, huh, Madeline? Do we really need to spend this much?" I want it to be meaningful. If Grandma saw it, she'd be proud. She paused a few seconds, then said, "Yeah, she probably would." I pictured Grandma Eleanor's warm eyes as she looked over everyone sitting under the tent. The breeze rustling through the trees, the smell of barbecue filling the field. I wanted that moment to exist, even if only for a day. The night before the barbecue, I packed the last of the decorations into my car, double-checked the meat order, and confirmed the band's arrival time. Everything was set. I sat at my kitchen table and reviewed the budget one last time. The total came to nearly $2,200. Not cheap on my salary, but I didn't hesitate. My family was worth it. Or at least, that's what I believed. 4 days before the barbecue, while I was carefully labeling each sauce jar with BBQ Grandma style in my neatest handwriting, my phone rang. The screen showed Dad with his usual profile photo, an old blurry picture of him holding a fishing rod by Lake Michigan. I picked up, cheerful. "Dad, I'm finishing up the sauce bottles. Tomorrow I'm picking up the cake and ordering extra folding tables. Do you think we need anything else?" On the other end, an unusual pause. Then Walter's voice came through, gravelly, hesitant. "Madeline, I need to have a serious talk with you." My hand froze mid-label. That tone, low, heavy, straight to the point, was always a sign something was wrong. "What's going on, Dad?" "Your mom, she lost her job last week. The grocery store cut staff unexpectedly. She was new, so she was first on the list." I stood still, the sauce jar suddenly heavy in my hand. But he wasn't finished. "That's not all. Brittany's car broke down again. This time it's the transmission. The mechanic quoted over $1,300, and if she doesn't fix it, she can't take that job near Milwaukee next week." Oh no. And Ethan, he called yesterday. His fall tuition's gone up, the school changed programs. He needs nearly 900 more, plus books. I sank into a chair, heart pounding. All these expenses, everything hitting at once. "Madeline, I'm sorry to tell you this so close to the event, but this year, we just can't go through with the barbecue." I looked up at the guest list still pinned to the board. Every name carefully underlined, green checks next to each RSVP. The plan I'd been building for 3 months was unraveling with just a few sentences. "Dad, I already put down deposits, tent rentals, the lights, the band. We could scale it back, make it simpler, or I can cover the rest. Didn't we do that last year?" "No, not this time. You've done too much already. Everyone knows and appreciates it, but I can't let you carry this burden again." "But it's Grandma's tradition. I've nearly finished everything." "Exactly. and I don't want to ruin it by letting you handle everything alone. That's not right. I heard him swallow hard, not out of emotion, but like someone playing the part of being reasonable. What I really heard was the door shutting, with me on the outside. I hope you understand. Let's take a break this year. Next year we'll come back bigger. The family just needs time to get back on its feet. I wanted to protest, to say all the reasons, to ask outright, why does no one ever ask if I'm okay? Why is it when you need money, you call right away? But when I try to do something for the family, you all disappear. But I said nothing, just nodded robotically and whispered, okay, as if I hadn't spent my entire spring preparing for a day everyone else took for granted. After the call ended, I sat for hours at the kitchen table, staring at the boxes of decorations, the scented candles, the freshly laundered tablecloths. Outside the window, the June wind rustled through the trees, sounding uncannily like Grandma's old whistle. I turned on my laptop, opened the cancellation email to the rental company. Their reply was quick. Due to late notice, you will only receive a 40% refund. The band had already rebooked for a wedding. I didn't blame them. I just wondered if anyone in this family truly understood what it felt like to be the outsider in the middle of the people you loved most. That night, I didn't sleep. I scrolled through every old message in the family group chat. From the beginning of the month till now, they'd all been chatting like usual, talking about Brittany's dress, about the cousin's salad everyone looked forward to. No one hinted anything was wrong. And yet in one phone call, everything burst like a bubble. I still hadn't cried. Not because I was strong, just too shocked. I kept repeating one thing in my head. The barbecue hadn't even happened, but it felt like they had decided to cut me out long before it ever could. I woke up Saturday morning to sunlight pouring through the window like some kind of mockery. The sky was cloudless, the air cool and crisp. The exact kind of weather Grandma used to call a day made for charcoal and memories. Even though the family barbecue had been canceled, I couldn't sit still. Instinct, or maybe just muscle memory from years of being the keeper of the tradition, pushed me to get up, make coffee, and start hauling things out to the apartment rooftop. I live on the 6th floor, and from my unit I can see a small rooftop terrace divided into squares for each household. I brought out the string lights I'd planned to hang on the willow tree at Naperville Park. Now they looped around the rusted iron railing. Each bulb lit up like a shaky note, dim but enough to remind me I wasn't completely alone in the silence. I walked to the nearby grocery store and picked up 2 hamburgers, a small bag of chips, and a ready-made salad box. I didn't want anything fancy anymore. There was no one left to impress. The cashier, who recognized me from past barbecue hauls, smiled and asked, "Smaller party this time?" I just nodded with a soft smile. Didn't want to explain. Didn't want to say this year's guest list had exactly one name. When I got back, I could hear laughter coming from the neighbor's balcony. A child yelled about dropping a hot dog. Someone's grandma clapped the table with mock scolding. Someone else blasted country music over a Bluetooth speaker. I glanced through the windscreen divider. Part of me wanted to knock and borrow some hot sauce, but a bigger part of me shrank back, afraid they'd ask, "Where's your family?" I set a mini grill on my old metal table, lit the charcoal, and watched the fire catch onto the cold briquettes. The smoke stung my nose, not from the grill, but from the memory of standing next to Grandma Eleanor, her voice reminding me, don't let the flame get too high, meat'll burn outside and stay raw inside, while she poured iced tea for the guests. I pulled up our Summer BBQ 2008 playlist on my phone, an old family mix passed through generations of hard drives. Dolly Parton's voice came through soft, "Coat of Many Colors." I laughed out loud. Grandma always swore that song was her life story, even though she wasn't a Tennessee mountain girl. I laid out a red and white checkered tablecloth on a small wooden table, added 2 paper plates, 2 soda cans, and a mini apple pie I'd picked up from the corner store. The table looked like it was set for 2, but the second chair sat empty. I spoke aloud, pretending Grandma was there, still in her apron and smiling. "You see this, Grandma? No matter what, I'm not letting this tradition die. Not while I'm still breathing. I ate slowly. The burger wasn't as good as in past years. The fries were a little cold and the music kept cutting out. But I sat there. I followed through on the promise I made myself. Even if it's just one person, the barbecue would happen. After cleaning up, I posted a photo of the humble table to the family group chat, captioned, "Tradition held, even solo, Grandma still smiling." Ashley left a heart. Ethan sent a pie emoji. Mom wrote, "You always know how to make Grandma proud." No one asked where I was. No one asked who I ate with. No one said sorry. I didn't expect anything in return. But that silence, it echoed louder than any rejection. Before going to bed, I took the lights down from the railing and folded them neatly. I stared at the soft yellow bulbs in my hands and thought, maybe next time, I'll use them for a party where I'm actually wanted. Even if it's just a small dinner with people who aren't blood. But mean it. Sunday morning, I woke up with a sore back after a restless night. Even though yesterday was just a simple balcony meal, my heart felt like it had lived through an entire summer of being left behind. I made coffee, opened my phone out of habit, intending to post a few leftover photos from the night before, as a reminder that I hadn't given up. Instagram reopened to the story feed, and at the top was a glowing circle. Brittany posted 2 hours ago. I tapped it. A video appeared, zoomed in on a table, decked out with pastel plastic plates, checkered paper cups, and a sunflower bouquet centerpiece. Brittany's voice played in the background. Just finishing up the setup, gotta make it cute for the gram, right? So there was money to make it cute, I thought to myself. I tapped again to be sure. No way, right? That tablecloth. That was the exact one I had ordered online. Limited edition, delivered a week early, pale mint green with white stripes. I had sent a photo of it to Brittany nearly a month ago asking for her opinion. She'd said, "Looks kinda tacky, sis, but if Grandma likes it, I guess it's fine." I exited the story and went to Brittany's Facebook. On her wall, she had just posted a photo album set to friends only. I wasn't on that list, but an old friend, Jamie, had liked it and commented. I clicked on Jamie's profile and found a shared image. Brittany and a group of smiling people posed in front of a large party table. The angle was unclear, but in the background stood a white brick wall and a gray moo wooden door. Unmistakable. I zoomed in. Yes, that was my parents' backyard wall. A chill ran down my spine. I left Facebook and opened Snapchat. Ethan always posted just for fun. Sure enough, his latest story read, "BBQ kinda lit." It was a video of a group sitting around a portable grill, Ethan holding a beer, grinning ear to ear. He flipped the camera, and for a split second I saw the string lights I had ordered for my party, the rare, warm, golden globe bulbs. I remembered because they took 3 weeks to ship. I opened Ethan's message from 10 days ago. "Hey sis, I need $300 for class fees. If I don't pay in time, I'll have to drop the course." I wired it immediately. I believed no one would lie about education for money. Now I knew I was wrong. I opened Venmo and checked my transaction history. $300 to Ethan, $400 to Brittany last week for a car repair deposit, $250 to Mom before that for uncovered prescription meds. The anger didn't hit like thunder, it trickled in, slow, relentless, like water dripping on cold stone. I didn't feel shocked. I felt humiliated. I went back to Instagram and searched for a family acquaintance, Gina, who'd been at our barbecue last year and was close to Mom. She'd just posted a new story, a buffet table. And the caption, "Best backyard party in years! Patricia and Walter, y'all nailed it." I turned off my phone and placed it face down on the table. The room suddenly felt suffocating. I thought about Dad's call, his voice cracking, saying there wasn't enough money to host anything. Mom had lost her job. Brittany had no car. Ethan couldn't afford school. So why were they partying, laughing, and using the exact things I had prepared? I was sitting motionless in the small kitchen when my phone lit up. A clear notification from Instagram popped up. "Brittany is live, watch now." I almost ignored it, too drained to witness anything else about my sister after this morning's revelations. but instinct whispered that something was off. I tapped in. The screen flickered with shaky footage, lights strung overhead, twinkling. Below were long tables draped in white cloths, fresh flowers in jars, clear plastic cups filled with wine and cocktails. Brittany beamed, the camera panned. Welcome to our annual Parker Backyard Bash, everyone. Say hi. The scene hit me like a punch to the chest. I recognized it instantly. My parents' backyard, the same familiar corner where I had hosted tents and celebrations for the past 7 years. But this time, I wasn't there. Instead, more than 30 people dressed up, laughed, and chatted. Uncle Frank from Minnesota was there, the one who said he couldn't come because travel costs were too high. Aunt April, Mom's best friend, held a plate of grilled shrimp and garlic bread, the kind of menu I could never afford. Music boomed from large speakers near the fence, where I used to hang LED string lights. A DJ in a black shirt adjusted the volume behind a glowing sign. Parker Family Reunion, Summer 2024. Brittany turned the camera toward my mom. She wore a blush pink maxi dress, her hair curled, a pearl necklace around her neck as she smiled at a waiter serving cocktails. She looked up and waved at the camera. So she still had a job, at least enough for a salon appointment, but not enough to help with my event. The camera kept moving, landing on Ethan dancing with a few friends. In his hand was a craft beer. One I'd seen at Whole Foods, $14 for a 6-pack. "Ethan, say what's up," Brittany shouted on the live stream. "Best BBQ ever," he yelled, raising his hands like he was at a music festival. My heart raced. The phone's audio echoed through my empty kitchen. I no longer felt like I was sitting. Every sense condensed into one silent blow. I leaned in, searching the screen for anything. A caption saying, "Just kidding, a joke." But no. Everything was real. Too real. Then Brittany turned the phone to my dad. He stood behind a large grill, wearing a Grill King cap and an apron embroidered with "Walter's BBQ Legend since 1985. One hand held a spatula, the other raised a beer. "Thanks for coming, everyone. Nothing's more precious than family and tradition." Nothing's more precious than family, I repeated in my mind like a cruel joke. Then why me, the planner, the funder, the one who never missed a single year? Why was I the only one not there? Being ripped out of your own life doesn't feel like rage. It feels cold, dense, and silent like ice. I began taking screenshots. One by one, Brittany laughing, Ethan sipping beer, my mom eating fruit salad, my dad slicing ribs. The live stream lasted nearly 17 minutes before Brittany ended it, saying, "Y'all online getting jealous. Time to keep it private." The screen faded to black, and I still sat there, phone trembling slightly in my hand, lips pressed so tightly they bled. And I didn't even notice. I checked our family group chat, no new messages. No one mentioned a party. No late invites, no, "Sorry, just a casual get-together." Silence. As if they were burying me alive in a different reality. Right then, I understood. I wasn't forgotten. I was excluded, deliberately, with planning, with everyone's agreement. I stood up, shaking, and walked to the fridge. The small apple pie I bought yesterday sat untouched, a silent witness. I stared at it for a long moment. Then I opened the wine cabinet, poured a glass, raised it, and whispered, "Cheers to the perfect family gathering. Without me?" Then I drank it all, not to forget, but to remember, because something inside me had just shattered, and I knew from that moment on I would never be the same. Meline, again. I sat in my apartment until nearly midnight, no lights on, just the glow from my phone screen casting pale light on my face. Each time I replayed Brittany's live stream, every frame felt like another blade twisting deeper. I no longer wondered why I was left out. I started asking, when did they begin planning to erase me? I reopened my message history. On June 3rd, Mom texted, "Ellen, I am so sorry, but can you send me $300 for my heart meds? Insurance won't cover them yet because I just switched jobs." 3 days later, Brittany messaged, "Hey sis, I need to fix my car urgently for a contract meeting. They're holding the deadline. Then came Ethan with his usual line. My college changed the program again. Can you spot me 300 just this once? I scrolled through every text, carefully noting each amount I'd transferred since March. Nearly $2,200. Enough to cover a full barbecue, tent rental, decorations, a live band, even the DJ I saw in the live stream. Nothing was coincidental. Every emergency, every plea for help was perfectly timed with the party's planning. They didn't just lie, they coordinated. Everyone had a role, a different excuse to draw money from me, making me believe they were all struggling, when in truth, they were staging a celebration I wasn't welcome to attend. A chill settled over me, deep and unmoving. My mind flashed through past sacrifices like silent film reels, skipping a Miami trip to help Brittany with rent, canceling my yoga membership to buy Ethan's textbooks, delaying dental work because Mom said Dad needs the water heater fixed right away. I'd always believed I gave out of love. Turns out I was just a walking ATM, no PIN required. I didn't sleep that night. I opened Excel and did something I never thought I'd do. Logged every transfer I'd ever made. Names, dates, reasons, line by line, a cold, unfeeling spreadsheet. Each number, a moment I was deceived. Each note, a wound that no longer bled, but hadn't yet healed. I went back to Instagram and searched the hashtag ParkerBBQ 2024. Not surprisingly, nearly 80 posts popped up. One of Dad's friends, Craig, had posted a selfie with Uncle Frank, captioned, "Gets better every year. Walter and Patricia knocked it out of the park." One of Mom's former co-workers wrote, "Can't believe this party was held in someone's backyard. Absolutely stunning." Not a single mention of me. No one asked, "Where's Madeline?" They knew, or worse, they didn't care. I reopened the family group chat. It was practically empty. My last message was a photo of my one-person table, captioned, "Keeping the tradition alive, even if it's just me." Ashley reacted with a heart. Ethan sent a laughing emoji. Mom replied, "You're amazing." Grandma's probably smiling down from heaven. Now I get it. That wasn't encouragement, that was a diversion, a way to silence me, to keep me believing I still belonged. I looked around my apartment. The unopened boxes of decorations, the plastic cups still in packaging, the electric grill that never got used. Everything stood untouched. Silent evidence. And I finally understood. The party wasn't canceled. I was. I set down my glass, opened my laptop, and created a new folder. The truth. I uploaded every photo, video, message, and transfer receipt. Not for revenge, but to remind myself. Truth doesn't need to be believed to matter. It just needs to be seen. I didn't confront them right away. I needed time to observe. Like someone so deeply betrayed, they no longer trust even their own instincts. 3 days after the party, no one in the family mentioned it. No explanation, no apology, not even a casual check-in. Then, on Wednesday morning, while I was compiling monthly reports for my boss, my phone buzzed non-stop. A message from my mother popped up. "Sweetheart, we just got a notice that the utility bill is overdue. Can you send $280 like last month? I'll pay you back soon." I stared at the words as if they'd been sent from another universe. They kept going, like nothing had happened, as if I'd obediently transfer money, just like always. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my truth folder on my laptop and selected 4 sharp screenshots from the live stream. My father grinning with a beer next to the buffet table, my mother posing beside a server in a black vest, Brittany recording a selfie video in the middle of the crowd, and Ethan raising a beer can with the caption, "Best BBQ ever." I captured the payment history from my apps dating back to March. The total was $2,230, each accompanied by messages with urgent words like tuition, heart meds, car repair. I posted it all on my personal Facebook. The caption read, My family said we couldn't afford to host our tradition this year. Said mom lost her job. My brother couldn't pay tuition. My sister's car broke down. 3 days later, they threw the biggest party we've ever had and deliberately left me out. Thank you for teaching me a lesson about boundaries. I will never again pay tuition for betrayal. And within less than an hour, the post had over 200 reactions. Former coworkers, college friends, even neighbors from my parents' street started leaving comments, from unbelievable to this is beyond cruel. One person messaged me privately, Madeline, I used to be the family ATM too. Eventually, I had to close my wallet to save my heart. That afternoon, the family group chat exploded. Brittany wrote first, Are you out of your mind? Why would you drag the family online like that? Ethan chimed in next. You're blowing this way out of proportion. We just had a little get-together. What's the big deal? Mom messaged me privately. You're tearing this family apart over your selfish emotions. Is this how you repay the people who raised you? I said nothing, but my father did. His message was short and so cold I read it 3 times before I believed it. You always think you're better than everyone just because you make money, but you'll never understand that sometimes a family needs space. Space without you. That's why we didn't tell you anything from the start. I sat there, hands clenched, but my heart felt strangely lighter. Not because he was right, but because he'd finally admitted it. That night, I sent my last message to the group. Starting today, I won't send another cent. All financial requests can go to the person you chose to replace me. I blocked all bank accounts linked to family, changed my Venmo, PayPal, email, and cloud storage passwords. I called my bank to confirm that no one but me had access to my savings. I stayed up until midnight canceling every auto payment ever tied to the name Parker. The next day, I bought a small bouquet and walked to the park near my home. I found a bench under the old oak tree where my grandmother used to take me after school, and I laid the flowers down. I didn't cry, I just whispered. My grandma kept the tradition, but I can't hold on to a family that won't hold on to me. From that moment on, I was no longer the one carrying responsibility for people who used blood ties as a shield. I was no longer Madeline the financial fixer. I was simply me, someone learning to love herself again, without needing anyone's permission. Madeline's story is a clear reminder that endless sacrifice can turn your kindness into your own undoing. In real life, many, especially women, are trapped in the role of provider, forgetting their own worth. When trust is abused, walking away isn't cruelty, it's self-defense. Real family isn't measured in dollars, but in respect and honesty. You have every right to say enough. What's your take on Madeline's choice? Was she too harsh or just finally protecting herself? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to follow the channel for more powerful stories about family, boundaries, and self-worth.